Right, good morning everyone. So the reason I wanted to do this video is to cover the subject of wearing masks in public. This is just my opinion. Now, I know a lot of you are already aware of my opinion on the current affairs. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because on Monday I had to go to one of my local hospitals because the idiot that I am, I got something stuck in my ear. The end of a cotton bud came off in my ear last week. Yes, I know you're not supposed to put them in your ear. Anyway, when I got to the hospital, I have to tell you this bit as well. Walked into the department that I had to go to. The receptionist was sat there with a mask on, but she had it down here under her chin. Complete waste of time. So then there were staff. There were no other patients waiting or anything. I was the first one there. The chairs in the waiting area, there were only 3 available to sit on. The rest of them had been turned and put in front of the reception desk, so all facing the reception desk, so you couldn't sit on them. And there were 3 left for patients, staggered, so that they were, socially distanced. And then there were a number of staff walking about the department. Some had masks on, some didn't. So I thought that was just, a complete joke. Oh dear, doggy's here. And I never even noticed the box of masks on the reception top. Anyway, one of the members of staff came out of a room and she had full shebang on, even the visor, then that they've been making. Now, it was my understanding that those were for people who were working in ICU and theatres, but anyway. And she was quite harsh with the receptionist. Can you make sure that everybody's wearing a mask? So we had to go get one of these from the box. So we did what we were told. Went and popped it on. I pinched it at the nose like you're supposed to, but as you can see, you've still got gaps here, you've got gaps underneath. Now, as I said, the reason I wanted to do this video is because I wanted to talk to you about this mask in particular, and what happened when I had it on, and the fact that at the moment the debate is whether we should be wearing masks or face coverings in public. And I just want to give you a bit of information about virus cells, okay? So there was myself sat waiting to be seen, and another lady and her husband came in behind me. They were the only people there at the time. So all 3 of us had to put one of these on. Now, within about 2 minutes, I haven't got a cough. I've got a bit of a smoker's cough every now and again, but that's it. Now, some of you will know that I have a bit of a runny nose, but that's because I have to wear, I've got obstructive sleep apnea, and on a night I wear a mask, and I use an APAP machine. And because of that, I've got air blowing in my mouth and nose all night. It gives me a runny nose. So I haven't got a cold, I haven't got I'm absolutely fine. I do get occasional hay fever. Within about 3 minutes of having this on, you could feel the heat and the moisture building up behind the mask. It was awful, really, really uncomfortable. And when you've got these on, you can't feel any air getting out, which I thought was quite concerning. And just as I turned round to the lady that was behind me, because she wasn't right impressed with having to put one on either, So her and her husband's feelings were obviously the same as mine about the situation. Just as I turned round and said to her, "Can you feel the heat?" Which she said, "Yes, it's awful, isn't it?" I was called in. And I'd literally been sat down a minute. The lady with the full face covering and the full shebang was the one that called. No, it was another member of staff that called me in, and he had no protection on whatsoever, no gloves, no apron, no nothing. There was a doctor in the room, and he just had the N95 mask on, an apron and some gloves. Now, he didn't syringe my ear, he hoovered my ear. So you can understand him having protection on. I would expect that anyway. She never came anywhere near me. She was at the other side of the room. She was more than 2 meters away from me. So why she was wearing all that, I don't know. There was absolutely no need for it whatsoever. And in my mind, it was an absolute waste of the face guard. If they're supposedly short of them for the staff in ICU and HDU, then to me, that was an absolute waste. But anyway, within literally, and this isn't an exaggeration, within literally 2 minutes, 2 more minutes, so I'd had this on no longer than 5 minutes, I was coughing, and I mean coughing, properly coughing. And I could see her looking at me out of the corner of her eye, and I said, "It's a smoker's cough." I said, "And wearing this is not helping at all." I said, "The heat and the moisture is building up behind this." I said, "And it's making me cough." So just imagine if you're not well and you go into hospital and you have to wear one of these. Or if you think that you're doing the right thing by wearing one of these, you're not at all. And there's also something else I want to tell you about these. I'm going to shine a torch through it. Oh, let me see if it'll work. I don't know if it's going to work. I wanted to try and show you the spaces, but it's not working. Oh, there you go. Can you see the spaces? With the torch behind, you can see the space there in the layers and how big they are, yeah? I hope you can see that. I hope it's coming through. I mean, there's those spaces around the edge as well, and that's partly to do where the layers have been crimped together, but you can just see the size of the holes in each layer. Now, I want to tell you something. Let me try and do this like this. Just compare those holes. Whoop. You've just seen them. Where's my hand? To that. Well, you on that's a pinhead, yeah. My nails are mucky because I've all broken and gardening. To the size of a pinhead. Okay. A virus cell. Do you know how many you can fit on there? 500 million. So if you can fit 500 million virus cells on the head of a pin, how many do you think are going to get through that? Anyway. Now, then we also come on to the fact that what they've said is, oh, don't go out and buy medical masks. Leave them for the staff, for the health staff and the care workers. Just wear a cotton face covering, something like a scarf. Can you really imagine? You can see straight through this, look. What on earth is that going to do? That wouldn't stop anything if it were airborne, which it's not, for a start. They don't want you to wear a mask to stop a virus. They want you to wear a mask to stop communication with others. They want us to stop contact with each other. It's nothing to do with, I mean, even if you doubled it up, still not going to do anything. They just want us to stop communicating, and that's another reason for the social distancing. If we're all in a crowd and they're trying to use face recognition, they can't make us out very well. Whereas if we're all separated by the 2 meters, it's so much easier for them to identify us. Now what I'm going to do, there's a gentleman on YouTube who explains how viruses work and how you can, or more specifically can't, catch them. I'm going to put a link in the description to a video he's done. I'm also going to put a list of people, if you've not already seen them, you really need to go to their channels and be watching their videos, especially stuff that they've been doing over the last month. Now, some of their work has already been removed, so you need to be getting on there really quickly. I have been sharing some of their stuff. In particular, there's a lady called Dr. Judy Mikovits. Now, until about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, if you looked her up, in particular on Wikipedia, she had one of the most glowing reports ever because she did some of the most amazing work on the HIV virus. Now, it's all just slander and slagging her off. But the main people I want you to look at is there's a guy called Max Egan. His channel is The Crowhouse. He's brilliant. He's a journalist, and his research is just, it's second to none. He don't just come out with a load of crap. His research is really good. His research methods anyway. And then there's Dr. Andrew Kaufman. Now, Dr. Andrew Kaufman, a few weeks ago, he did a video and he actually went through the research papers from the laboratory in Wuhan that proves without a shadow of a doubt that they never even isolated the virus, which is what they're supposed to do. So if they never isolated the virus, how can they come up with a test for it? Some of his work, some of his videos have already been taken off YouTube, so I'm not sure if that has or hasn't. If I can find the link for that video, I will post it in the description or the comments. So that's one. Then there's Dr. Rashid Buttar. He's brilliant. Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai. Most people just call him Dr. Shiva. I can't pronounce his surname. Ayyadurai. And then obviously I think a lot of you might have heard of the London Real channel. They're brilliant. Amazing Polly and Anaconda MaltLiquor17. That's another really good channel as well. If I can think of any more, I'll post them in the description as well. But those channels are really worth checking out. I mean, these doctors that I've just mentioned, they're at top of the field. They know what they're talking about, guys. You really need to go and check them out. This is where I've got a lot of my information from. I'm not just, you know, pulling it out of nowhere. I've done my research. I've listened to what they've got to say. The difference between these guys and the ones that are advising the government is the ones that are advising the government are getting big payouts. They're all in the pockets of people like Mr. Bloody Gates. And all roads lead back to Mr. Gates, believe you me. Anyway, so there you go. Just have a think about what I've said and go check these people out. Alright, speak to you later. Bye guys.